So UFC middleweight veteran Jared Cannonier, aka Killa Gorilla, fought Gregory Rodriguez, aka Robocop, last weekend at a UFC fight night. I didn't cover it. I didn't have time. I had so much work. But anyway, I am going to be more disciplined with covering cards moving forward. But despite that, let's break down what happened. Overall, looking at that fight, it was a war. It was a war. These are two heavy hitting middleweights. Um, really good power in both of them, landing on each other, dropping each other, damaging each other. Um, I had Robocop going into the fight, and if I was to make a prediction video for you guys, in full disclosure, I was going to choose Robocop to win just because of the sheer power he's put on his opponents in previous fights and the fact that Jared Cannonier has lost previous back and forth battles, especially one worth noting, which is his fight against uh, Nasruddin Imavov. And it was a questionable stoppage, but I think it was the right stoppage because Cannonier was fucking doing the tango when he got fucking pieced up by Imavov. But either way, this fight was a war. It was an entertaining fight, edge of your seat type of battle. And Cannonier got dropped by Robocop earlier, and then I think near the end of the third or fourth round, Cannonier dropped Robocop or like just hurt Robocop badly. And I think in the open, and then see, I'm forgetting the specific round where the knockout happened, but the fight ended with Jared Cannonier TKOing Robocop. Surprise outcome. I thought Robocop was going to be able to land something big to finish Cannonier, especially since Cannonier got dropped, but Cannonier also hurt Robocop. So these two of these guys were hurting each other back and forth with devastating amounts of power, really clean shots, and Cannonier was the one able to tough it out and get the win. So yeah, Jared Cannonier got it. I think although Cannonier won, it's not a big win. And unfortunately, it's not a big one because everybody that is currently ranked higher than Cannonier has beaten Cannonier. So it's not the best situation for Cannonier to win this late, is what I'm saying. But he's got to fight somebody, and he's got to fight somebody above him because a win is a win. Cannonier has also refused to be a gatekeeper, which I totally understand. It's not good to be one. It's not fun to be one. Only unambitious fighters should be placed as one. Like oh fuck, why is the name escaping me? Well, Kevin Holland. Only unambitious fighters like Kevin Holland should be made to be gatekeepers. Of a certain division. But yeah, my whole point is that this is a really late win for Cannonier. It's great to see him in the win column, and I am a fan of him. He's had really great fights. He's an entertaining fighter. He's a war dog, in my opinion. He doesn't intend to go into fights. He doesn't intend to make fights wars. He obviously would prefer to knock out his opponent or finish them earlier. But it's just how a lot of his fights kind of play out. A big back and forth, both fighters landing clean punches, having to take clean punches, taking a lot of damage and seeing who's the fucking tougher guy. And a lot of the time, those fights end up being the fights of the year, the fights that everybody loves to see. Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje, although it ended in a knockout, it was a really big back and forth. Max Holloway did get the best of Justin, but Justin, he's got this way of being able to brawl with anybody. But a better example, I guess, would be Justin Gaethje versus Dan Hooker, which hasn't happened yet, but it's about to happen soon. And that fight is obviously going to be a fucking 5-round bloody battle, and something like that. Robbie Lawler, Tom McDonald, a fight like that, a fight of the year like that, where both fighters are just laying it all on the fucking line for every round. And that's what Jared Cannonier seems to bring to the table. So he's a valuable fighter. I'm not saying because Cannonier won so late that he should be cut or disregarded. He's a valuable fighter. It's just tough for him because everybody that is ranked above him, aka everybody that's in his way towards a title shot, uh, is someone that's beaten him, you know, and more often than not beating him convincingly. So it's tough. It's a tough spot for Cannonier, is what I'm saying, you know. But as I said, nevertheless, Cannonier has to fight up because he won. So, you know, Cannonier versus Izzy, Cannonier versus Sean Strickland, a middleweight that's in that upper echelon that's on their way down, like Izzy or Sean Strickland. And I think both of them pretty much clear Cannonier. And I don't say that with disrespect towards Jerry Cannonier. It's just as I said, Cannonier tends to get into these battles, and more often than not, he's losing the battle. So it's not a great position for him, but it's a position nonetheless. So, you know, in the end, you got to be thankful for what you got. And he's still in the UFC. He's still a veteran. He's still a name in the UFC that a lot of MMA fans respect. And, you know, it's the fight game. There's still a chance that he's able to run through his next few opponents and get a title shot. Always a chance. Always a chance. And at his old age, too, which is another point I want to make, but I'm going to make it in another video about fighters who are quote-unquote past their prime but still kicking ass. One of those is definitely not Tony Ferguson. But overall, you let me know what you think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But most importantly, subscribe. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next.